What happened yesterday? Nobel Peace Prize recipient Donald Trump. Maybe. That was the immediate response yesterday from most of MAGA. Not gratitude for the possibility of peace in the Middle East, but this gleeful insistence that Big Daddy win the big peace prize. That's all they could talk about. Benjamin Netanyahu tweeted out this AI picture of him awarding Trump the big gold chain. Okay. Lee's favorite son, Eric, retweet if you believe Donald Trump deserves the Nobel Peace Prize. Fox News' Laura Ingraham, either Trump gets it or the committee disbands. Of course. What are the chances the sole driver behind this peace deal happening was Trump just desperately hoping he got the Peace Prize? Chances it doesn't happen without that? I feel like non-zero. I've been railing on how dangerous his narcissism is, but maybe this time it brought great peace. I don't know. Ukraine next? That would be lovely. Here's a Guardian article. Norway braces for Trump's reaction if he doesn't win the Nobel Peace Prize. The U.S. president may impose tariffs, demand higher NATO contributions, or even declare Norway an enemy. Maybe we just give it to him. Maybe he deserves it for this. We'll see. Growing rage on the right toward Bad Bunny again. You know, once they pick a culture war to wage, they go ham. Lately, they've been fucking Roman gladiators against rainbow crosswalks. So brave. This time, they're upset that apparently he didn't stand for the anthem at the Yankees playoff game. You know, I wish, my wish for this country would be that more of us would stop and ask our neighbors why they feel something or why they do something, why they feel a certain way, instead of skipping straight to this virtue signaling and rage baiting like a feral troll who feeds off of who needs division to survive. That's how Tommy and so much of us behave. Think how much better off we'd be if we would just talk and listen. It's a concept. Give yourself a chance to empathize, Tommy. You might even like it. In the same vein, Turning Point USA announced a rival halftime show, the All-American halftime show. Okay. Just for context, Turning Point USA chapter heads around the country who lead the local chapters of this organization are on record, in their own words, proudly some of the most bigoted, hateful people I have ever heard. They say things out loud or over email or text that are absolutely vile. So, celebrating faith, family, and freedom. Okay, sure. As long as it's the Christian faith, as long as it's a family that looks like the one that they want it to look like, and freedom of Christian white people. But of course, the All-American halftime show. I can't wait. Roger Goodell, commish, you are on notice. So watch out. A federal judge in the Northern District of Illinois, which includes Chicago, issued a temporary restraining order prohibiting the Department of Homeland Security, that includes ICE, from using any sort of force or riot control weapons against members of the press, protesters, or religious practitioners who are not posing an immediate threat. This comes just a day after a priest was domed straight to the head with a massive pepper ball for no reason. He wasn't rushing anybody, any building, any vehicle. So what is this? This is the federal judiciary, our courts, having to step in to protect us, Americans, from the executive branch, and not some sort of like intangible overreach from the president or the executive branch, like violating some vague intangible right. This is the courts having to outright tell an agency acting under the president to not physically hurt Americans. Because Donald Trump won't leash his dog, Kristi Noem, and get her and her goons or agents to stand down from assaulting peaceful protesters. So a judge had to step in. It's fucking sick that these federal agents are acting like this. They're violating Americans' rights this egregiously. I don't care what their sadistic bosses in this administration are telling them to do. They don't have to follow unlawful orders. They shouldn't be. But where are the conservatives and the libertarians who have spent the entire existence of this country terrified of government overreach like this? My don't tread on me chat? Where are we? You're getting tread on real bad. Stomped like 6 feet under bad. Where is my Second Amendment crowd? Weren't we maintaining arms for this very scenario? Oh, that was all bullshit. Okay. I want you to imagine if Barack Obama was carrying out a crackdown like this on red communities and red cities, on peaceful protesters with military vehicles and troops in the streets. Why don't you stew on what the country's reaction to that would have been? Lastly, New York Attorney Letitia James, who successfully convicted Trump in a civil bank fraud case a few years ago, was indicted on Thursday by Donald Trump's DOJ for alleged bank fraud. Just follow me how we got here, okay? Last month, Justice Department prosecutors, people who had served their entire careers there across Republican and Democrat administrations, repeatedly told Pam Bondi they didn't have enough evidence to bring a successful case against Letitia James. Never fear, of course, those prosecutors were forced to resign by Pam Bondi. They were replaced by Lindsay Halligan, Donald Trump's former personal lawyer, after Trump sent out that message urging Pam Bondi to somehow, some way indict James Comey, Adam Schiff, and Letitia James. Less than a month later now, 2 of those 3 names on that list have been indicted by the Trump regime. I'm annoyed by slow people. I'm annoyed by slow walkers. I'm annoyed by slow drivers. I'm annoyed by slow people who are so at sloth's pace realizing what's going on in this country. But for the sake of saving ourselves from full authoritarianism, I will try to extend my patience. Do y'all get it yet? Did I mention Lindsay Halligan, Trump's personal lawyer, who was installed in our government for the sole purpose of indicting these people that Trump dislikes, had 0 previous experience in a federal prosecutor's office? Jesus, talk about a pawn. Think about the cases that the prosecutors who were fired or forced to resign, the FBI agents who were being canned by Kash Patel for no good reason. Think about all of the work that these career public servants were doing and still had ahead of them the good work they were going to do to protect us from God knows what threat, but won't, but can't. The cases that they were working on that they just had to drop because Donald Trump wanted them out. We are putting Donald Trump's personal grievances above our own national security, our own safety. Here we are, America.